Hello, fellow heirs, and welcome back to Weekday Wind Down with the Word, where we are reading through the book of Leviticus. And today we will be reading the 6th chapter of Leviticus in the NLT version. This chapter includes sin requiring a guilt offering, further instruction for burnt offering, further instruction for grain offering, procedure for the ordination offering, and further instructions for the sun offering. So without any further ado, let's start reading. Sins requiring a guilt offering. Then the Lord said to Moses, suppose one of you sin against your associate and is unfaithful to the Lord. Suppose you cheat in a deal involving a security deposit, or you steal or commit fraud, or you find lost property and lie about it, or you lie while swearing to tell the truth, or you commit any other such sin. If you have sinned in any of these ways, you are guilty. You must give back whatever you stole, or the money you took by extortion, or the security deposit, or the lost property found, or anything obtained by swearing falsely. You must make restitution by paying the full price plus an additional 20% to the person you have harmed. On the same day, you must present a guilt offering. A guilt offering to the Lord. You must bring to the priest your own ram with no defects, or you may buy one of equal value. Through this process, the priest will purify you before the Lord, making you right with him, and you will be forgiven for any of these sins you have committed. Further instructions for the burnt offering. Then the Lord said to Moses, give Aaron and his sons the following instructions regarding the burnt offering. The burnt offering must be left on top of the altar until the next morning, and the fire on the altar must be kept burning all night. In the morning, after the priest on duty has put on his official linen clothing and linen undergarments, he must clean out the ashes of the burnt offering and put them beside the altar. Then he must take these garments, change back into his regular clothes, and carry the ashes outside the camp to a place that is ceremonially clean. Meanwhile, the fire on the altar must be kept burning. It must never go out. Each morning, the priest will add fresh wood to the fire and arrange the burnt offering on it. He will then burn the fat of the peace offering on it. Remember, the fire must be kept burning on the altar at all times. It must never go out. Further instructions for the grain offering. These are the instructions regarding the grain offering. Aaron's sons must present this offering to the Lord in front of the altar. The priest on duty must take from the grain offering a handful of the choice flour moistened with olive oil, together with all the frankincense. He will burn this representative portion on the altar as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Aaron and his sons may eat the rest of the flour, but it must bake without yeast and eaten in the sacred place within the courtyard of the tabernacle. Remember, it must never be prepared with yeast. I have given it to the priest as their share of the special gifts presented to me. Like the sin offering and the guilt offering, it is most holy. Any of Aaron's male descendants may eat from the special gift presented to the Lord. This is their permanent right from generation to generation. Anyone or anything that touches these offerings will become holy. Procedures for the ordination offering. Then the Lord said to Moses, on the day Aaron and his sons are anointed, they must present to the Lord the standard grain offering of 2 quarts of choice flour, half to be offered in the morning and half to be offered in the evening. It must be carefully mixed with olive oil and cooked on a griddle. Then slice this grain offering and present it as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. In each generation, the high priest who succeeds Aaron must prepare this same offering. It belongs to the Lord and must be burnt up completely. This is a permanent law. All such offerings of a priest must be burnt up entirely. None of it may be eaten. Further instructions for the sin offering. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Give Aaron and his sons the following instructions regarding the sin offering. The animal given as an offering for sin is a most holy offering, and it must be slaughtered in the Lord's presence at the place where the burnt offerings are slaughtered. The priest who offers the sacrifice as a sin offering must eat this portion in a sacred place within the courtyard of the tabernacle. Anyone or anything that touches this sacrificial meat will become holy. If any of the sacrificial blood splatters on a person's clothing, the soiled garment must be washed in a sacred place. If a clay pot is used to boil the sacrificial meat, it must then be broken. If a bronze pot is used, it must be scoured and thoroughly rinsed by water. Any male from the priest's family may eat from the offering. It is most holy, but the offering for sin may not be eaten if the blood was brought into the tabernacle as an offering for purification in the holy place. It must be completely burned with fire." And that concludes the reading of Leviticus 6 in the NLT version. So I don't know about you, but every time I read, "This is the offering," I think about how grateful I am that Jesus was the final offering and that I'm not responsible for offering gifts unto the Lord, any sacrifices like this, animals and things like that, and bread and stuff, because you have to be so detailed, and God wants you to do everything precisely and to remember all that. I don't know about you, but I don't know if I could remember all that. I'm sure I could with God's help, because nothing is impossible with God. But I'm just glad that I'm not responsible for having to do these particular things. I am so grateful that Jesus came and died on the cross for me, and he settled it once and for all. So I don't have to be concerned about a grain offering, a sin guilt offerings, anything like that. I don't have to be concerned with that. Jesus came and he died on the cross. He was the perfect offering for my sin, and it atoned for it once and for all. And nothing that I do can change that. And so I'm so grateful every time I read about these offerings. It just makes me think about me not being responsible for that and how blessed I am because of Jesus. So with that being said, what do you think? Did anything different jump out from this chapter to you? If so, please put it in the comments below, or just write out what your thoughts were about this chapter. I would love to read it. As you know, iron sharpens iron, and your thoughts and what the Lord spoke to you can help out others. So I would appreciate it if you do. And with that being said, I'm going to leave it right here. Thank you so much for listening to Weekday Wind Down with the Word, and have a blessed life in Jesus Christ. Bye.